Hello, welcome back, and thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to launch right into what is a continued series of discussions about this apparatus, the physical body, and the highest and best, and indeed the only proper use of this body. If you've been following along in the past few days, you will have heard the statement that you are not a body repeated over and over again here in this video series. That's because it's repeated over and over again in the course. So there you are. You are not a body. I am not a body. Your ex is not a body. Your son or daughter, if you have children, is not a body. We are not bodies. This is not the Son of God. And let's all be very, very glad that this is in fact the case. And I know that you know that it's the case. You're interested in spirituality. If you thought this was all there was to it, what kind of interest would spirituality even hold for you? Not much, right? This is the call of our inner teacher that speaks to us, sometimes in a gentle whisper, other times it may feel like it's a loud shout. Sometimes it may even feel like a blow to the head to get our attention, but it's always loving because it always gets us to think that there's more to life. There's more to it all than just this. And we all know that this is not who we really are. Now, of course, in the world, our biology textbooks tell us that we're a human body. Our entire societies tell us we're a human body. Everything we look at tells us that we're an individual. Homo sapiens, sapiens running amok, doing the best they can with finite resources because everything in the world is finite and limited. And what is the physical body but a limitation? When you think it's you, it is a limitation because you're stopping at the edge of this. Yet we all know that there's more to it than that. All of us, even those that steadfastly deny it, and they steadfastly deny the use of spirituality in any in any way. There are people that think that all of us are completely insane, and well, let them think that. We forgive them in our own mind and let them go their way. They could go the remainder of this lifetime continuing to think that this course and any spiritual tradition is a complete waste of space, time, and oxygen. Let them think that for the rest of this lifetime, if that's what they choose to do. So the thing is, we all have a choice. We can deny that we're the Son of God, one with our Creator, one with one. We could deny that all we want, or we could embrace it. We could allow truth, oneness, to be just as it is, and to suffuse and permeate our mind. Choice. We all have it. So those that aren't choosing this right now, so be it. They will. Want to know how we can can say this with 100% certainty. Doesn't have to be in this lifetime or the next or the next. Might be many thousands of calendar years before they make the choice that you've already made. We can say this because the separation never happened. Ideas leave not their source. You've never left your home in God. I have never left my home in God. Your ex has never left his or her home in God. Your worst political enemy has never left his or her home in God. Your children, if you have any, have never left their home in God. Only God is. All else is illusion. So this, of course, begs the question, while we appear to be here as this mechanism, to what use do we put this mechanism? What is, in fact, the best way to use this illusion that we've mistakenly identified as us? Great question. The answer is to give it over to your inner teacher for his purposes. In other words, for the purposes of healing the mind. In so doing, a very powerful and very important thing happens. And it's something that here on the path, we're apt to overlook when we're carried away and distracted by everything that appears in our experience. The important point that we're very apt to overlook is that when we allow our inner teacher to run the show, we are setting the ego aside. We are saying of myself, little s, my individual self, I can do nothing because I've tried to run the show. I've tried to orchestrate and manipulate all compound phenomena to bend them to my will, and it hasn't worked. I've experienced nothing but frustration. Even if I have some hot, sexy moments or some hot, sexy decades, a lot of money, great house, fabulous vacations in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, things like that. They don't last. I've got to come back and check my email the following day. All of the drama returns and I'm back where I started. Yeah. That's what we experience here in the world when we try to run the show ourselves. What we experience when we truly allow our inner teacher to take control is totally different. Every situation is completely recast. What once was a scene of battle, really, of pitched battle, of competition, becomes an opportunity to forgive and extend God's love to the Son of God, to extend love, to use the body as a way of communicating love and the miracle of forgiveness and healing to your brother. The body is properly used as a means of communication under the direction of your inner teacher. Now, if you're just encountering these materials for the first time, or if this is new to you, welcome. These videos are intended for all experience levels. In fact, those of us that have been at this for a decade or more, or 2 or 3 decades or more, need the basics just as much as someone who's never encountered this material before, because the 1000th time that we hear the exact same thing could be the time where it really lands for us. It really hits home and we're inspired to practice, or to put it another way, we get it. This is for everybody. Our inner teacher is inner. There is a reason why I continue to say inner, our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to call it. You may call it Mike or Suzanne if you want to. You can call it by many names and refer to your inner teacher as your guides, plural. It doesn't make any difference. That's just a name. Here in A Course in Miracles, the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher, goes by a number of different names too. It's referred to as the universal inspiration in many places, friend with a capital F, and many others. Your inner teacher is part of your mind. It is the part of your mind that speaks truly, that speaks for God, and that reminds you of who you are and directs you on how to return home, so to speak, to wake up. If you let it. This is where each of us has a choice. This is where those people, including probably many members of your own family or your colleagues, maybe your friends, or maybe even your kids, think you're nuts for practicing spirituality, even those that deny all of this completely, they still have the same inner teacher. There's one mind. We have the same inner teacher. What's going on here in the world where we see such incredible variance and multiplicity is that some of us are listening to the call and some of us are not. Those of us that are, okay, we're watching this video. You're watching this video. You're interested in A Course in Miracles. You're interested in spirituality in the first place. The call goes out to all of us at all times. Just because we've answered it doesn't render us superior to our brothers who are refusing the call. There is no superior or inferior at all. There is no separation of any kind. So there cannot be any differences of any kind, any difference in quality or quantity even. There's only perfect oneness. This is the only number that you need in this course. We have only to count to one. That's the math test. That's it. No complicated algebraic physics. We don't have to sit for a horrid examination in differential equations or any other such complicated formulae. One. The proper use of the physical body is to communicate love, to extend love to your brother. Just that, and do it under the direction of your inner teacher. And if you're unsure how, ask. Yeah, ask. You'll always be answered. Now, if it feels like nothing's happening, here's a really, really interesting and important practical point. Anytime we ask, it's given immediately. There is no time. We don't have to wait to receive the gift. It's given instantaneously. Here's where it appears that it's not to us. When we are running around doing our thing, defining and defending personal territory, right? Judging, blaming, and condemning, doing what we call life here on this spinning ball of rock. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. When we're lost in the midst of this, it is very difficult to lose sight of the simplicity of truth. And we think that nobody has heard our prayers. We think that the Holy Spirit or Jesus or your guide or guides have not answered us. We think they've not answered us because we don't see immediate results. Yet the answer, everything is given as soon as it's asked for. You have received the peace of God. It is you. You have it. How do you know that you have it? You give it away. This is quite the opposite of what the world teaches us. The world teaches us to hoard our material possessions and our money and all kinds of other stuff, lest our brother get it. Quite the opposite. How you keep things is by giving them away. The Holy Spirit teaches very differently than the ego. Choose the Holy Spirit. Extend the miracle of forgiveness to your brother, and you will know that you have it. We already have the peace of God. How do we know that we have the peace of God? We give it away. Give it away. We extend it to our brother. This is why the practice of true forgiveness is the practical centerpiece of A Course in Miracles. This is how we keep it in our mind. We extend it. We give it away. This is the symbol here in the world of how we create with God. Constant extension of love. By extending, we keep it in our mind. Our forgiveness of our brother here in the world is symbolic of that. And it is how we learn that we are the Son of God, that we are the peace of God, that we are love, the love of God. That's how we learn that we're one with God. One again. So give the physical body over to your inner teacher. What's the result? Healing. Healing the mind. This is the use to which we're intended to put this mechanism, this thing. Sounds simple, is simple. Let's just remember here as we wind down that we introduce all of the complications ourselves. We're unlimited, but we limit ourselves and we argue for our limitations constantly. Let's take a moment and think about the ways in which we do this. How many times in your life have you limited yourself by uttering the word, I can't, it's impossible, it's too hard, I can't lose weight, I just can't seem to do it, I can't break through this income ceiling that I have in my career, I just can't seem to do it, or I can't raise my credit score so I can get a home loan or something. I just can't seem to do it. I can't learn this course. It's too hard. Yeah, we argue for our limitations all of the time. Now, this doesn't make us bad. Well, not at all. Limitations are simply mistakes. It's a mistake to believe that this constitutes you. When you look in the mirror, the image that you see is not you. The physical body that is producing that image in the mirror, that's not you. That's not the Son of God. The Son of God is unlimited. You are unlimited, completely limitless and free. You are not a body. You are free, for you are still as God created you. Yes. How can we say this with such conviction? It's true. And it also constitutes the familiar refrain from a lot of workbook lessons, 20 in a row, in fact. Lessons 201 through 220. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me, with the rhyme scheme deliberately placed so that we can repeat it and remember it. And it sticks in our mind where it should stick, because it's true. So give this apparition, that's what it is, give this illusion, give the physical body over to your inner teacher for the purposes of healing the mind and extending love to the Son of God. You already have and are the peace of God. How do you know that you have it? You give it away. Yes, so happy extending. So, as we wrap up here, let me comment that it's always so much fun for me to share with you. And I very much appreciate your being here. And thank you to all of you who have recently subscribed. There have been a number of you in the past couple of weeks. And what we've got going on here is a growing international community. And I record 5 or 6 videos a week under normal circumstances. In other words, when I'm not traveling. Um, these appear for the sake of consistency and also for the simple fact that we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, which, as you may have discovered, is several hundred pages long. And we're just going a few paragraphs at a time because there's a lot to say. We're on chapter 8 out of 31 in the text. So hence the need for repetition. Also, the 200th time that you hear an idea may indeed be the time where it really sticks, and that is your inner teacher speaking to you. So I thank you for joining me, and for any comments or questions that you may have. This is intended to be a space where we can discuss the spiritual path, this course. So if you have comments or questions, please leave them here. And please subscribe if you've not yet. The subscription button is this arrow here in the corner of your screen. Go ahead and click on that. We'd love to have you join us, and we'll see you again soon.